Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm going to be talking about tips that you can take as a journalism student. So I made this video because as a journalism professional, there's not many videos out there on YouTube that kind of like breaks down how to be successful after college and what are the key tips that you need to take to be successful to get into the industry. So I work for a local news station. It's an NBC affiliate in my hometown. It's a big city. I don't want to kind of get into details because I don't want to associate my job with my YouTube channel. So let's just go ahead and say I'm a digital producer for a top 10 company that's basically NBC affiliate. So one thing I can definitely say is everything starts in college. Your degree will not give you a job after graduation. Your degree is not guaranteed to give you a job. It's all about experience. And then you're kind of thinking to yourself, well, Brittany, how am I gonna have experience if I'm just a student? Well, I have a couple of tips for you guys to take that you can do while you're in school that can increase your chances of getting a job at a big station or a small station, or just getting your foot in the door in general. So I'm gonna go over my job. I'm basically a digital producer, but I went to school for broadcast journalism because I honestly wanted to do TV, but as I saw the economy and where we are as a society, social media is just so big, and honestly, news is progressing to more digital than traditional news, which is just basically, you know, someone that's on TV. Not a lot of people are sitting down and watching TV anymore. A lot of people are on their phones. So I wanted to keep up with the trend of media. And so I decided to go into digital media, and I still do digital reporting. It's really fun. And you know, there's YouTube and other things you can do. So you never know where it can take you. There's people that's on TV now and don't even have a degree. It's all about experience and your audience intake. So let's just kind of break down what you should do from freshman year to senior year. So as a freshman, I'm not gonna lie, like I am not the perfect example to use as a freshman because I was worried about boys and like crazy stuff. I wish I would have been more active and not thought about the party life as much, because it would have saved me a lot of heartbreak and it would have saved me a lot of wasted time and more experience. I feel like, you know, the sooner you start, the better your chances are after graduation. So as a freshman, there's not too many internships that will take freshmen, but at my job, we have an intern now that's pretty much a freshman, and I'm like, girl, how did you get this job? But she had a demo reel. She had a lot of experience as a freshman. She went out to events and like covered them doing her cell phone. So she was very active in what she did, and she was very active while she was in high school as well. So, and she was active with college students. She didn't have to even be in college. She was just join their organization. So as a freshman, I would definitely say go onto your school campus. Make sure you pick a school that is focused in journalism. I know someone who picked a school and wanted to go to school for journalism, and the school didn't even basically have a communications program. It was just like basic communications, had nothing to do with broadcast journalism. Don't do that to yourself. Another thing I would definitely say is as your freshman year, just join organizations, be active, network, get a mentor, and reach out to people and show how eager you are. I mean, if there's a rally or a parade in your town, go out there and cover it on your phone and post it to YouTube. Like, start being active now. And have a Facebook and have an Instagram so you can build those followers over the years as you continue going to school. And by the time you graduate and being consistent, you should have a nice amount of following, because that is going to help you when you go on those job interviews and they're like, well, why should we hire you? And you're gonna have something behind your bag. You're gonna be like, well, I have a social media following, I have experience, I'm a hard worker, I have this, I have that. So that definitely helps out. So I would say between your freshman and sophomore year, I would definitely say do those. And then towards your junior and senior year, start applying to internships early. Early, like mark it down on your calendar, because I'm not gonna lie, like that progress of like having to fill out an application, I was always late. I think I was always doing it last minute, and I never got an internship until I went to a career fair and went to ESPN Radio and got an internship there. That was like my official internship, but anything that I basically did on campus was basically an internship for me as well. Fortunately for me, we had a PBS on my campus, so I auditioned for a class and I got in. So I treated that exactly like an internship, and I wrote it down on my resume as if it was an internship. And all the experience and everything that I did there, I documented it, and I made sure to document everything and all the tasks that I had to do. So when I did have a resume, I could put all of that down on there. Everything that you do, even if it's just like a small blog, that counts. That counts as a job. Even if you're not getting paid, you put that down like it's a job. Like, I don't care if it's just, hey, I got a blog and I want you to write for it. That's published work, honey. That's published work. So go ahead and do that. That's good to do. And then as you're applying for internships, hopefully you land one, but don't be discouraged if you do not get an internship, because I rarely got internships, and I know people who had an internship at like big places and they took longer getting a job than I did. And I took some time off because, as you guys know who follow me on my channel, know that I have a child, and I had a child 2 weeks before I had to graduate, and I took 9 months off not looking for a job. And when I did try to pursue to look for a job, it took me about 4 months to actually get a real job. And in reality, guys, when you graduate, it's gonna take 3 to 6 months to almost a year to try to find a job in your career field. And it does get discouraging because you're gonna meet people who are like, oh, what are you going to school for? You can be like, journalism. And then they're gonna be like, oh, I went to school for journalism too. And then you get all excited, like, oh my God, what do you do? Like, are you doing anything? And they're like, I'm a teacher. And not to knock teachers or anything, because my sister's a teacher, but it is discouraging to hear that somebody who went to school and did exactly what you didn't get a job. And then when you ask them, like, well, why are you not in media? And they always say, I couldn't get a job. I couldn't find a job fast enough. Okay, so that's discouraging. So that's why you're here, and that's why you're watching this video, because I am gonna let you know that it is discouraging at times, but you have to stay active. So fast forward, you know, freshman year to sophomore year to junior year, and then senior year, if you didn't get you get the internships, you work hard, you join organizations, you be active, you do your own thing, you create your own blog. It's very, very, very important to have your own brand. Like, I literally had a blog on WordPress. You can do something as simple as that, and like go and like find, like, you can sign up to do like press releases. You can sign up and get press releases from police departments in your area and sign your email up to that, and they'll send you like crime stories that happened overnight. Like, I used to get them all the time, and I would just take them and like write them and attribute them to whatever police said, and then I would post them to my blog. And I had my AP style book. I had my own personal AP style book because I had to make sure whatever I was posting on my blog was correct. So I would open up my book and check everything, and I would have my mentor look over it, or I have a friend look over it. And I was very active doing that. And I also was active in other things, and just being very active and very helpful gets you very far, like far. So after you graduate, this is the time to really hustle, and it's gonna get discouraging. Like, you're gonna sit here and be like, I think I'm just gonna be a teacher, because you're gonna have your family, you're gonna have your friends come up to you 3 months later and say, hey, I saw so-and-so got a job straight out of college at this news station. What are you doing? And it's kind of embarrassing. And I definitely understand how it is. You're gonna have people who are gonna tell you, like, well, what are you doing? Well, you need to get a job. Like, I mean, you graduated just to not get a job. Like, so-and-so got a job. And the comparing game is very, very, very discouraging, because it's like, you see other people, you start to watch other people progress, and it feels like you're still doing the same thing. Trust and believe everyone has a timing. People who were ahead of me are trying to get to where I work now, because it's all about timing. It took me months to get my job, but I got a job at a top 10 market, where someone else who got a job before me, you know, is still like, you know, at a 100 market, like a very, 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 very low market, very, very small town. And that's okay, because everyone's journey in life is different. So just accept that and just focus on yourself and do what you need to do and stay encouraged. Get a little side hustle job. Like, I waited tables. Like, a lot of people didn't know, because I had to put my pride aside. And look, guys, I'm a Christian, so I prayed, and I just asked God to just help me out and keep the faith. You know, it's very hard to keep the faith, and one thing I had to pray for was help me with my faith. And things that I had to go through, I just had to reflect on, like, well, look how far you came. So that's what helped me and encouraged me to keep going and keep fighting. And I had friends that I talked to, and I was very active still in my student organization, and I was still publishing things, and I was still writing on my own blog. And so when I did get called in for the interview, because it's one thing to apply for a job and they say, oh, what have you been doing since graduation? I see you graduated 3 months ago. And if you say, no, I've just been looking for a job, that don't look too good. You need to come there and say, well, I've been doing this, I've been doing that, I've been active, because that shows them that you are a hard worker, you're consistent, and you love news, and it's a passion for you. And they're gonna want that eagerness, but they don't want desperate. I'm just telling y'all that now. They don't want desperate. I think one of my mistakes was at an interview, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. Like, even if I don't get the job, I'm just so appreciative that you guys called me back. Like, it's even embarrassing just even talking about it. Like, it was just so embarrassing now that I think about it, because your attitude needs to come in there like, you guys need me. Like, of course, it would be great to work for this company, but at the same time, this is what I can bring, and this is what all I've done to prove everything that I'm saying to you is true. And they're gonna want that. They're gonna want somebody who's gonna bust their butts and work so hard and go all out and have a passion for it. Because if you're going for an on TV job and you don't have passion for it, it's gonna show. If you don't have passion for your job that you're applying for, it's gonna show. Also, another tip, one thing I cannot stand is that I have people reach out to me on LinkedIn and I don't know them at all, and they'll say, hey, I just applied for a job there, like, you know, how do you like your job? And honestly, if I didn't like my job, I wouldn't tell you, because I don't know you. Like, I don't know who you're gonna talk to, and they'll be like, yeah, I talked to Brittany and blah blah blah, she said this. Like, the best advice would say, hey, any tips you can give me, you know, before I go on this interview. I'm going to interview with so-and-so. If it's not in my, if I'm a digital producer and you are going in for a sales position, I'm telling you now, I'm in the newsroom. Sales is somewhere else. Or if you're going for a photographer position, I don't know anything about photography. I mean, I'm not gonna, and also, don't reach out to people you don't know and say, hey, can you give me a recommendation? They don't know your work. If you want that person to know your work, you're gonna have to send them your work and say, hey, I wrote an article. Can you check my blog out? I really wanna get a professional standpoint of how I can better my article. Like, you want to let them know, like, you know, build that relationship. So if you do eventually apply for a job there, they're gonna remember you and be like, oh yeah, she's actually pretty good. Now, this is not to say, like, there's some people who have a lot of power in news, and there's some people who don't. They can give their intake. I definitely recommended people and they didn't get the job. There's people that you do recommend and get the job. So it just all depends on, like, what you bring to the table and your experiences and how bad do you want it. And yeah, that's the best advice I can give you. I've had an intern who applied for like 3 different positions, and they were like random positions. One thing I definitely learned is, like, when you're applying for a position, you need to let them know, this is the position I want. Like, I don't want to be a reporter. I don't want to be a photographer. I want to be a writer. I apply for a writing position. I'm going to show everything in my cover letter. Your cover letter is very, very, very important. Like, it literally makes or break you, you know, at this point. And your cover letter is supposed to reflect of how hard of a worker you are and how passionate you are, and your success and awards that you have won, or your internships or your experiences or something challenging that you overcame. And, like, you know, they want to see your strengths, and that's going to really count. So it needs to be focused on whatever position that you are writing for. So if it's photography, you need to talk about this big sports event that you went to and blah blah blah, and you won an award. Or, you know, if it's writing, it needs to be about writing and how you won an award here and how you learned how to write, and, you know, how you've had articles that had 1,000 shares, or, you know, how many likes it had. Engagement is very, very, very important. You can also talk about your social media and how you're very engaged with people and you love connecting with people, because that is what news is about. Local news, you have to know what it stands for, and it's all about informing the local people and sometimes national as well of like what's going on. That's your job, is to inform people. So if you're not really a people person, that's not good. You need to be a people person to work in news. So when you go on these interviews, just make sure you're a very sociable person. You're talking to everybody that you're walking by. You say, hi, hello, my name is so-and-so, nice to meet you. Oh, you know, one time I got a job straight out of college for just a little bit at a place, because at an interview that I had with an internship, my internship actually turned into a job, which I didn't even get the internship. I went in for an internship and walked out a few days later with a job, because I went in and I spoke to the executive producer, and she was doing something that, you know, she was doing something a longer way than, like, she was doing something on her computer where I was like, hey, did you know that if you do this, it can be 10 times faster? And she appreciated that, and she remembered me, and she recommended me for a job. Simple as that. Stuff like that can happen to you. So just be generous, be a nice person, be social, and be nice, but not like come off like desperate or like trying too hard. Just be naturally nice and say, oh, what do you do? What's your name? Oh, it was a pleasure meeting you, you know. And if they ask you like, oh, I'm here to apply for a job here, whatever, just make it short. Hi, hello, how are you? Just walk to the newsroom, whatever, and just speak to any job interview you have. Just speak to everybody. I don't even care if it's the janitor. Speak to everybody. People will remember that. People will like that. People will say, hey, who was that girl that was here? I definitely think she should work here. It can happen as simple as that. Or this guy, you know, he looks very presentable. Like, I could definitely see him working here. Like, you never know who people are friends with. So just speak to everybody and be nice. And yeah, don't be nervous. Practice in the mirror. Oh my God, like that is so important. I just almost forgot about that. It's so important to practice in the mirror. Like the night before your interview, like you need to practice in the mirror. Like when I practice in the mirror, because you're gonna stumble over your words and you're gonna get lost, and you kind of need a direction of like what you're gonna talk about, and they're gonna want to talk about your strengths and they're gonna talk about your weaknesses. Don't focus too hard on your weaknesses. Your weaknesses should be like something, I'm gonna use an example. Your weaknesses should be something like, oh, I face this challenge, blah, 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 but I've learned from it and I'm a quick learner. Just kind of like back it up with something that, you know, because you don't want to say I don't have any weaknesses, or, you know, or I'm not the best writer in hard news, but I learned how to write, but I'm very strong in this. So whatever your weaknesses is, your strength need to like cover it up, you know? So I would definitely say that. I don't think, what else am I missing out on? Oh, just stay encouraged, guys. Honestly, like overall, just stay encouraged. It's gonna take a while. Reality is it's gonna take 6 months to a year to find the job that you want. And don't be scared to say no to sometimes. Like, if you apply for a job, make sure that's something that you want to do, because you don't ever want to get caught up in a position and you don't like it. I actually applied for a position, and this lady literally told me, well, why are you applying for this position if you want to be on TV? And I was like, well, eventually I want to be on TV, you know, but I want to like know about news and get the experience and learn. Like, I just want to do everything. They don't want somebody that does everything. They want somebody that they feel like that's going to stay there for a long time, because one thing that these managers do not like is looking for a new employee, because there's so many people out there that's applying, but there's so little people out there it's hard to find that right person, and they don't really want to start over. So when you say like, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and I want to do this, they kind of not going to go with you, because you have a lot of uncertainty about you that doesn't reflect that job position. So that's just a fair warning. If you go in for a writing position, don't say, oh, I want to be a photographer too. Just say, hey, I like taking pictures as well. I have this experience, you know, I can take pictures digitally or whatever. Or if you want to be a reporter, don't say, oh, I really want to just be a director or something. I don't know, just, you know, they'll ask you, what do you want to do in your end goal? It needs to reflect of how you can grow that company And if you go in and be a reporter, say eventually I want to move up and be an anchor. Yeah. Or just, where you see yourself. I hate the one that says, what do you see yourself in 10 years? You can just keep that journal and say, just in the news business, learning, growing, excelling. I plan to win awards. And awards mean dollar signs for the company and engagement and learning about the audience and connecting with people. That's so important. So those are the key facts. I hope this video has helped you guys. If you have any questions, comment below. You can contact me, and also follow me on Instagram. You can message me there and get advice on a personal level if I don't reach out to you fast enough on YouTube. So I hope these help. If you have any other questions, like I said, just comment below, like and subscribe this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.